And you're good to go.
Okay. Start with announcements. Welcome everyone to the May meeting of koha-US user group. First on our agenda are the announcements. Uppermost is conference. We are going to do a conference like in person or virtual. You get to pick. And it will be in McKinney, Texas. So you can come and join us down here in Texas. And Ed and et al. Are going to make sure the weather is perfect, and it's just a beautiful day or week, and it'll be a wonderful time for everyone. First of all, submitting proposals. We're accepting proposals at this point for presentations. So you can submit them pre-recorded if you like, or you could do a virtual presentation at the time of the conference, or you can come join us in McKinney and give your presentation live. So you've got those three options for presentations. And yeah, just whatever you're doing, other libraries will probably be interested in creative uses of Koha software, new functionality that you're taking advantage of, anything cool, jQuery and CSS, whatever it is, definitely submit that. And then our website has updates. Will continue to be updated on the conference as well. We'll go into deeper detail on the conference when we get to the committee reports, but remember to submit your proposals. We like to have new people, not the same old. We'd like to encourage new people to participate, and there's a May something deadline for that. I've forgotten.
May 21st is the deadline for proposals.
Okay. So you've got a few weeks-ish to do that. Second thing is the fitness challenge. So Bywater has graciously agreed to sponsor this fitness challenge. They are providing the t-shirts and the medals and all that kind of stuff. So the proceeds from this fitness challenge are coming to koha-US. So if you haven't signed up, it's not too late. You can get in your, record your fitness. If you remember what you did earlier in the month, just you can put that in as well. And there's weekly challenges, and there's you can find another library and challenge against them. I guess the SIGs could challenge each other too if they wanted to. We'll see. And yeah, just the whole idea of just get out there, do something, get moving again. After this past year, everybody's kind of been inside too much. So get out there and participate. Has everybody here signed up? Signed up. Good. Okay.
I've signed up, but I have yet to discover how to enter my particular activity.
It's not easy, I have discovered. You have to be persistent.
Okay.
It's not, I've participated in these kinds of activities with other organizations, and they're their register what you've done was simpler to find. Once you find it, it's real easy to enter it. But for me, the trick was finding it.
Probably not for me, because my fitness activity is more a mental fitness activity, which is spend 3 hours a week reading an actual thing with pages and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
If
I'd also
you-
like to point out that there's a large team from my very own Montgomery County. Yay.
Okay. Good deal.
One thing I've noticed is I put in like strength training was not originally one of the options. And
Oh,
I just did, I don't remember what I was putting. And then I was putting in comments that I was doing strength training. And then I noticed that the next time I went to enter, someone had added strength training as an option.
yes.
So you could just like pick whatever and do comments, and someone is paying attention
Oh, good.
and updating that.
I wish I could say it was me, but it's not. I
Yeah.
think I'm the only one with the administrative privileges to this. I'm not absolutely sure of that, but I know I do have them because I go into them quite regularly. And I agree with the assessment that it's not particularly easy the first time to figure out how to enter your activity. And if you go to your registration confirmation, there's a link in there, but I don't ever remember setting a password. So the very first thing I had to do was reset my password. And once I did that, then it was very easy to go in and put stuff in. And I'm actually going to go ahead, maybe tomorrow, I might actually wait until Monday to put in a Facebook post to remind those that have signed up and are following us on Facebook to go ahead and enter their activity. By that point in time, I'll actually be able to point to a URL for people to use so that they can just click on that and go ahead and register their stuff.
Okay. Thanks, John. Any questions about the two announcements or any additional announcements that anyone has? Okay. Then next, the demonstration instance progress. Barbara.
So the demonstration instance special interest group, I think we've had 2 meetings, and we are we're all just going to put stuff in there, and it may be a little not the cleanest site, but we're going to contribute records, we're going to contribute patrons. We decided that we probably need to turn on most functionality so that we could show it off. So, enable self-registration. I put in a ticket to have Elasticsearch turned on, and they said that because I can't remember the reason, there was some reason they wanted to hold off a little bit before they did that, which is fine, but there is a ticket to turn that on. I enabled Mana. We've gotten the logo, the koha-US logo in on both the OPAC and the staff side, so we don't get confused about where we are. I was planning on contributing some bib records, but I wasn't exactly sure, how I was really going to do that. And this morning I found in Open Library, I found some files of MARC records that are just out there for anybody to use. So I'm going to go through some of that and see what's in there, and hopefully bring in some records that way. And we're planning on having something sort of, so to speak, finished, I guess, by the time of the McKinney conference, so that we could, show what we've done. And then I know that like Christopher and George are using it in particular for a lot of their training videos. So that's another part of it, is not just showing Koha, but is a site for members to use in an educational way. That's about it, I think.
When are those meetings? Because I meant to come to them, but one of them managed to be at a time when I was unable to, and the other one I missed because I can't keep track of it.
They should be the fourth Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
So,
And is anyone welcome to come and participate?
yeah.
Okay.
Love to have you.
See, I've exported most of my library's collection except the journals, so I don't want to think about the journals. Is there any way to do an export with the number of times something is circulated, but without any other identification like names or card numbers? Of course, most of our circulation is maybe 1 or 2 times.
Are you
Well, you
talking?
should be able to export your records, and you can create an export based on biblio numbers. So you could generate a list, you could write a report to generate a list of biblio numbers for things that meet the criteria you want, and then export those. But nothing in the biblio is going to have any patron information in it.
I think I'll just upload the MARC records. It's a brand new library, nothing circulated. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You'll have to manually do the circulation if you want some circ stats in there.
Anyone have need to stay in bed for 2 weeks to recover from something and add circulation?
Yeah, my plan is to upload a bunch of patrons, hopefully this afternoon. So we'll see what happens.
To get Christopher and I started using it, I ran a report here in my system and exported like the Kansas notable books records for those into the demo site. And so there are those there. And then I went through and I attached items to a pile of them. Not all of them, but so there are some records in there, just not a lot.
And we should also mention that, like, if you're interested in doing a presentation or a workshop at the conference, but you don't want to use your own site, we can easily set up an account for you in our demo site to use. So don't let that stop you from presenting.
And this isn't exactly relevant to this project, but a couple of weeks ago, I was trying to export a list of biblio numbers by ISBN, and George and I were completely confused as to what was going on, and it turned out to be a firewall problem. And I have since found out that a lot of the problems I'm having with Koha are because of my organization's firewall. So if you get an instant error message or connection reset, you might want to think of that. So I wish I'd known that a couple of years ago. They have really cracked down being a hospital doll, which makes sense, but makes doing Koha a lot harder.
Okay. Well, thanks for heading this up, Barbara. It's kind of been on our to-do for a while, so it's great to see it kind of coming together. It's good news. Okay, let's move on to the committee reports. First on the list is the conference committee. So like I mentioned, the conference this year will be in McKinney, Texas at the McKinney Library. Will be hosting us. Ed is here as a representative of that library. The dates are September 21 through 24, I think. And as per usual, the first 2 days will be presentations, and the last 2 days will be more workshop kinds of things, hands-on, do stuff. You know, we've learned to sign off bugs in the past. We've learned to, you know, we've had usually 1 or 2 developers there to help with specific bugs that we can work on. It's all very interesting. That might sound, oh, I can't do that, that the second part, but actually the second part is when the real stuff happens, that's when you can really get some work done for your library. Just even if it's just talking to other people, because it's a much more informal schedule. And yeah, that's, definitely, I'm going to strongly encourage people to stay for the second 2 days, even if you're not a developer or a programmer or anything, because we need input from librarians. We need to talk about what's going on, on with certain bugs. It helps tremendously. And also that's a time, to talk with other people about, whatever your topic is, acquisition, circulation, all that kind of stuff. So it's just a really good time to meet with other librarians, talk about what's going on, and then you can get together and come up with a development and put it out there in Bugzilla or whatever. But it's strongly encourage people to stay for the second 2 days. Okay, back off my soapbox. Okay, then the theme this year is fresh perspectives. Anything else that, we're, Ed, do you want to share information about accommodations and anything like that?
Sure. Excuse me. Right now, we've got a block of rooms. I don't know off the top of my head exactly how many at the Hotel Grand, which is literally across the street from the venue. It's a relatively small hotel, and we have a huge percentage of their rooms blocked. We've got those blocked through Thursday night, but not Friday night. The reason for that is they would not allow us to do Friday night because that's the beginning of Oktoberfest here. And they didn't want to, sacrifice potential rooms for that. But everybody kind of needs to know that. We also have a smaller block of rooms getting reserved at the Sheraton, which is a little farther away. It's not walkable to the downtown area. At least by those of us in Texas, it's not walkable. Maybe Heather could walk it. What else should I say? It's going to be fun. We've got a lot of fun downtown stuff in our historic square. And any questions?
Yeah, questions?
This is probably in the description. How easy is it to get from what airport to McKinney?
You'll probably fly into DFW. And depending on time of day and traffic, that's anywhere from a 30 to 45-minute drive. Could be longer if there are wrecks. You never know. This is a big city, but that's
I understand all too well.
That's a reasonable estimate. There are shared shuttle options. I think there's some of that. There was information about that in our original proposal. I don't have that in front of me. I'd have to dig up those details because that's been almost a year and a half or more now. But yeah, there are a number of different shared shuttle options. Plus, of course, there's always Uber, and that's shareable to get from DFW out to McKinney.
Okay. See, I don't know if I will be allowed to travel. The current travel ban is through September 7th, and I see a lot of people nodding. I guess what's the last day I can sort of pull out? Any ideas?
I don't. I know there's a time that we have to give up our block of rooms, but I don't know what that date is right off the top of my head. But that would be the only thing that I can think of that, other than you're negotiating with the airlines.
Well, personal travel is admitted or permitted. Your long lost cousin or somebody is.
Yeah, once again, this is Texas and nobody here seems to care. I went back to Lubbock for the last weekend for Mother's Day, and apparently in Lubbock, the pandemic's completely over. I almost saw nobody in masks. They've decided it's over.
Okay. All right.
I'm not sure that's a selling point on
Yeah.
Texas.
Hey, but that's real.
If I
It's also
choose to
300
wear a mask, will I get jeered at?
Not here. This area, I'm guessing on any given day, walking through the library, walking around downtown, 2/3 or more of the people are wearing masks. Almost all the businesses still require masks to come in. That's here.
I just wanted to mention, we do have a conference committee meeting after this meeting, and we'll be kind of hashing out some of this information and getting it up on the website. So I did want to put the webpage in the chat for you all. And I did put a link to the conference page at the very top of our website, so it's easier to access. So keep an eye on that in the next couple of days, and there should be more information about travel and accommodations and that kind of thing.
All right. So more information to come. Get busy with your proposals for the presentations that you're going to give, whether that's virtually or in person. And looking forward to it. It'll be here before we know it. All right, next committee is the Development Committee.
So the Development Committee has met several times, and we had 3 submitted proposals. One is sort of more developing something with a third-party vendor than within Koha itself. So we're not really considering that one, and we have 2 remaining ones that we're looking at. One of the other things that we started out with this year was trying to determine if we could find other developers to help, because Bywater has told us, don't really consider them to be a development company. So we thought we need to sort of see if we could expand our pool of developers. And we have met with a gentleman from a company called Auto Parallel Technologies. He's either based in Round Rock or Austin. And he has looked at the 2 submitted proposal, the bugs for those. And well, he's really looked at one, I think. And he came back with a cost for development and some potential grant / in-kind, I guess, to make the total cost come in a little bit less. They're excited, and they would like to get involved in Koha and development. So that's one of the proposals, and then the other proposal already had a cost from Bywater. And so we're kind of at the point of the board needs to sort of determine what maximum amount it's willing to put toward a development. And I sent out, I think Friday, I sent out an email to the officers. Did y'all get that? Okay. So we need to kind of decide, a maximum amount of funding we might put toward a development. And then the next step, I think, is we put the 2 developments out for a vote of the membership to see how they'd like to
I think it was
proceed.
11:30.
Oh, okay, great.
Shoot, let me just double check to be absolutely sure.
Yeah, I was.
And I think that's about it.
Barbara, do you have the 2 bug numbers we can share just so people can be
Yes,
thinking about it?
let me find those. It may take me a minute. Okay, they're 12029 and 27720.
Okay.
I beat you. We'll be doubly efficient in the chat here with the bug numbers.
Oh, all right, I'll stop.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Any questions about the development, the process, what's going on? Okay.
So my understanding is we'll figure out how much koha-US can pay towards it. And then we vote on that, I believe, as a membership. There will be a membership vote coming up on these decisions. So just be aware of that and keep an eye out for that.
Okay. All right. So there's no questions about development committee report, then we will move on to education. Heather.
I wasn't able to chair the last meeting, had to deal with some family things, but I wanted to thank Fred for stepping in. And I hear everything went really well. And I think that's our report. Things are going along swimmingly.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I kind of forgot to send out the announcement about a meeting the day before, so there were only 4 people there. So it's actually a very clever ruse, so I don't have to chair another meeting.
Well, but so I'm hoping that anybody who's interested will join us for the next meeting. And I will do my best to send out a reminder when the day before.
Okay. Any questions for the education committee?
When are those meetings?
The next meeting will be Wednesday morning, May 19th at 8:30 Pacific time, 10:30 Central.
And can anyone come?
Yes, anyone may come. We especially like input on things that people would like to learn about.
Okay. Any other questions for Education Committee? They do cool little training videos and things like that. So if you've got a topic that you'd like to have a video tutorial on.
And we're also working on reference guides, print material. So yeah, we're interested in getting education materials out there in all formats.
Okay. Sounds good.
Is in particular, if anybody is interested in a video, let Christopher, Brannon, and I know. We're at the bottom of the barrel on ideas. We're scraping the bottom. So, you know, if anybody wants to learn about anything, let us know, and we'll cobble together some half-assed, hastily put together instructions on how to do that, and then put it in a video.
Or if you have something cool that you want to share with people, you could guest star.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you ask us to do a video about something, you might be invited to participate in making the video.
Will there be abundant use of the word very in the title?
Very possible.
No.
Okay.
I was going to bring this up later in crossing the Linux barrier, but I'd like to point out my video, which is installing koha from the Ubuntu command line. Looks like a couple of people have looked at it. Jason, you might want to stop the sound for a moment because I'm going to tell that same story. I've received quite a few thank you messages and a message from a lonely 28-year-old woman named Susan who wants to try something new in the bedroom. Actually, just yesterday, I found out that the bathroom attached to the bedroom needs basically to be rebuilt. So wonder if she might be interested in that. Started raining in the room underneath the shower. So anyway, my next video, which is going to be next 5 years or so. Okay, now you have the bare outlines. Here's how you build the library.
Sounds good. Okay. Next, if there are no more questions for education, we will move to finance. John.
Jason included the May report within the agenda. Again, this is the slow time of year for us. We are at 39 members in good standing as of the end of April. And right now, we're really not spending a whole lot of money. We're really just taking money in at this point in time. If you look at the March report, all of the income you see is associated with memberships, but in the preliminary April report, you'll notice a significant bump in revenue. Some of that is related to our community fitness event, but some of it is also related to some generous individual donations. A few things related to the Finance Committee generally. The official Finance Committee report notes we're still waiting for the refund from ALA. The updated version, and this will be, of course, reflected in the June Finance Committee report, is that our refund has arrived. Hooray, we don't have to sit and worry about me harassing people in Chicago for $1,200 anymore. And so that's wonderful. That check has been deposited into our account, and in accordance with previous board decisions, that money is not going into the general organization coffers, but rather, since it was actually 2020 money, will be put into the discretionary funds, very likely earmarked for possible use for a display space at next year's ALA, which I pray to God happens because I'm sick of attending things virtually. So hooray for ALA. We have filed the required filings with the state of Kansas as well as the Internal Revenue Service. And again, an update from when this was presented to the board last week. The IRS turnaround is very quick because nobody looks at it. It's just, hey, look, you've submitted it. It didn't make our machines blow up. Therefore, it is accepted. The state of Kansas one took a little bit longer. That might be related to a server conversion over within the Secretary of State's office within the state of Kansas. But regardless, that too is now updated to active and in good standing. So all of our required federal and state level filings have been taken care of and acknowledged as well as approved. For the June report, we'll have final information about the Koha Community Challenge. And I'll now switch over to the first quarter financial report if there are no questions about the regular Finance Committee report. Any questions before we move to the quarterly report? Seeing no questions, I'll go ahead and move on to the quarterly report then. Again, just like I'll sound like a broken record because this is the time of year I can. We've taken in a good bit of money, most of that in relationship to memberships. For those of you that have had an opportunity to look at the first quarter financial report, it is arranged slightly differently from reports that had preceded it, in that I used to have the budget on one side and then the quarters and then the total at the far end. I've rearranged this table so that the budget and the total are right next to each other. So it's a lot easier to see how we're doing with regards to our various income and expense goals. So for the first quarter, total income of $860. Again, a good chunk of that related to our full year memberships, 500 actually, and then $360.21 in a combination of individual donations and our quarterly Amazon Smile, which was received in February. With regard to expenses, our total expenses for the first quarter were only $168.35. Almost all of that, about $145 of it, was actually related to our Zoom renewal, which includes not only the fee paid to Zoom, but also the TechSoup administrative fee that allows us to get a discounted Zoom rate. And the remainder is entirely related to the PayPal fees that are collected when anybody submits a payment using PayPal. The second quarter will have only marginally more activity. It will really be the third quarter with our in-person event that we'll see a significant uptick in expenses. Are there any questions about the quarterly financial report?
And I didn't get that in the agenda, I just realized. So I just put that in there, and I also put the link in the chat if anybody wants to review that. Sorry.
If anybody would like to review that and ask me questions later, I'd be happy to answer them. And of course, you are always free to contact me at treasurer@koha-us.org if you happen to think of anything that you'd like to ask. That's it from the Finance Committee.
Okay. And then the final committee is the fundraising committee, which we don't have a chair right now. But we talked about the fitness challenge, and that's basically what we've got for fundraising going on right now. Any questions for any of the committees that have popped into your head while you were hearing somebody else talk or anything like that? If not, we will go on to open discussion of bugs, issues, etc. Anybody have?
So I don't remember if it was at the last meeting or at one of the special interest group meetings, there was some discussion about text message providers or like Twilio and stuff. Was that at the last general meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, then I will go watch the video to remember the things that I forgot to take notes on.
If I recall correctly, Christopher was going to put together some sort of collection of information on that. I don't know if he's gotten that done, but you could reach out to him. He might have the information summarized already.
Sounds good. Thanks.
I have a monthly call with Bywater where we talk about RT tickets that are outstanding that haven't been closed, and I'm doing an annual review, like where I'm in later today, where I'm talking about every single ticket with them, like going through each one in the list instead of just the ones that have been had action on them since the last time. And so I was looking at a lot of different bugs, and a couple of these occurred to me when I looked at them that koha-US doesn't know about them. So I thought I would mention a few. So there's one here, the first one I'll put up. If you have a staff member that has permission to place holds but not permission to modify holds, they can't place any club holds. And so that's a bug that has been around for a little bit, and there hasn't been hardly any activity on it. Was reported last June, and it's only got 2 other people on the CC. And I think the reason that this isn't an issue is because I think a lot of places, everybody that has permission to place holds also has permission to modify holds. And so it only affects libraries where you might have people that have permission to place holds, but not permission to change people's position in the holds queue and things like that. So if you do have staff members that don't have permission to modify the holds queue, they can't place any club holds. At least this is the bug that we've encountered. And so that's number 25787. There's another one here. Oh, that was one that we just talked about. So that was another one. There's another one that's a weird one that it's probably only going to make a difference to people that are writing reports. This one is 15683, but it's kind of a weird thing where if you renew an item and so if you open up a patron's account and you've got that list of checkouts in front of you and you click the checkbox and say renew these, the renewal date that's stored in the database is going to be just the date, and it's going to say that it was renewed at midnight. It doesn't matter what time of day it was renewed. But if you have a patron account open and you scan a book to renew it, it's going to renew it with the renewal date being the date and the time that it was renewed. It'll have the exact date and time. So there's inconsistency between what gets recorded as the renewal date. If you use the checkbox, it's just the date. And if you actually scan the item to renew it, it gives you the date and the time. And so that's a weird one. And it's been around for a long time. Since 2016 is when Heather at Neckles reported this to Barton, and Barton wrote the ticket for it. So that's just a weird one that I don't know what the process would be for fixing that. But if you ever have to run reports that look at renewal dates and renewal times, you get these weird results because of this bug. And so I thought I'd bring both of those up. And it seems like I might have had another one, but I can't find my notes on it right now. So.
Okay. Anyone else have bugs they've run into or something cool you discovered?
I'll share one that I don't think I've shared at a general meeting. We talked about the cataloging SIG, but I put in this bug a little while back about how great it would be if Mana could store C3950 targets, if we could upload our targets and import targets so that you don't have to go out and dig through the internet to find good targets. So if you think that's a good idea, you can comment on this bug and see if it can get some attention. I think it would be really helpful. I think that Mana could be a good central place for this, not just for Koha libraries, but for everybody, especially if we're like crowdsourcing a database of targets. And I put some ideas on the ticket about like what I think it would be helpful, like to filter down on, such as library type. So it's easier for, say, Fred to go out and pull medical library targets, where I would want to go out and pull public library targets, that kind of thing. I don't know how doable it is or if it's realistic, but if you think it's a good idea, the ticket is out there. And that's 28072.
I think it's a great idea.
Mhm.
There was another thing I was thinking Mana would be good for recently, and I can't remember what it is, but the Z3950 thing would be really awesome.
Okay. We've got just a couple minutes left. If nobody has anything else?
In that case, may I go to crossing the Linux barrier?
Yes, you may. Oh, yeah, sorry. There's,
Okay, one of the problems I've had with installing Koha is that you have to type in these really complicated commands, uppercase, lowercase, and if you get one thing wrong, you have to go back and first of all, find out what you did wrong. So in my demo, I created a few scripts. So all you have to do is wget and then fairly easy command, which right now goes to the avenging chicken, which maybe we should change, but then just change permissions, which is fairly simple, and you don't really have to know why. Just this is how to do it, and then // and then a script, and it will take care of some things for you, like producing the password or setting up the repository. I don't know if that's at all useful. Maybe if someone else wanted to combine some other neat tricks for a presentation at the conference. And if anyone has any other Linux problems, maybe we can figure them out together. That's about it.
okay. All right, thanks, Fred. All right. So for anyone who is not staying for the conference committee, you can go back to your day job, and the rest of you get to stay. And we will talk about the conference.